Hello, hello. Today I'm going to take you along as I make these life cycle puzzles from a free coloring page. Let's get started. So I'm just starting off by doing a quick Google search of life cycle coloring pages. And the reason I chose to search for coloring pages is because they have very little color. There's lots of open white space, and this is important for when we get ready to make our cut file. So I just found one that I like. It's not too busy. There's not a lot of color on the page, and I know that I will be able to manipulate it in a way that's going to work. So what I'm going to do is download the file and save it as a PDF. And once I save it as a PDF, I'm then going to open the file in Preview. And then I just go to Export, and I want to export this as a JPEG file. Okay, so I just want to export as JPEG, and I also save that to my desktop so that I can find it when I need it. And after I export it as a JPEG file, I'm going to open that JPEG file in Inkscape. And once I open it in Inkscape, what I am going to do, I'm going to go to Path, Trace Bitmap. And after I click Trace Bitmap, I get a preview of what it's going to look like. Now I can close this Trace Bitmap window because I don't need it anymore. And then I will click on the image and delete the original image. Now I'm left with my vector image, and I'm going to click File and save this as an SVG file. So here I have my image uploaded into the Glowforge interface, and all I'm going to do is insert 4 shapes. I'm going to insert 4 circles, and I'm going to put those around each of the images on our coloring page. And I'm just going to size them so that they don't touch each other, but that the sizes are consistent. After I add the circles, I'm going to search for a curved arrow to mimic the green lines in the original coloring page. So I'm just searching for that. So I will insert them, size them, and position them appropriately. After I have my arrows placed, I'm going to insert a square, and I'm going to round the corners just so that nobody gets scratched when they're using the puzzle. And in order to turn my square into a rectangle, I'm going to unlock aspect ratio so that I can manipulate this square and make it an appropriately sized rectangle. Now that I have my puzzle completed, I'm going to go and change my settings going to make sure I cut the rectangle, and I want that to be the last step just so that nothing shifts during the cutting process. I'm going to set the engraved pieces to draft graphics just so that it doesn't take forever to cut. And then the circle and the rectangle will be set to cut. And I am cutting this puzzle on non-proof grade MDF, but I know that the medium draft board setting will cut my material. So after that, I'm going to send it to the Glowforge to cut. So I'm going to be making 2 of these puzzles. One is the life cycle of a frog. The other is the life cycle of a ladybug. The life cycle of the frog I'm going to cut out of birch plywood, and the life cycle of a ladybug I'm going to cut out of MDF. Okay, now that I have the front part of my puzzle cut, I'm going to ignore all of the steps except for the rectangle. I need to cut a solid rectangle as the backing for my puzzle. So that's what I'm going to do next. All right, we have all of our pieces cut, and this is a one-step assembly. After we peel the masking, the only thing I'm going to do is glue the front rectangle with the circles cut out to the solid backing and let it dry. All right, here's the finished product. This was probably one of the easiest things I've made on my Glowforge. I didn't have to do any designing, and I glued 2 pieces together. If you give it a try, please let me know. I record these videos to show you how I use my Glowforge outside of my business. All of these projects are quick, easy, and usually low cost. I hope you find inspiration in them.